we're going to take you to a live nest. It's not the one Chris was talking about. That's a first for Springwatch, but it is a first for this series. So let's go to it right now. It's live. This is a little robin's nest. Garden bird favourite. You might even have one of these nests in your garden. They nest in all sorts of places, from trees to hedges to log piles to sheds, hanging baskets, watering cans, wellies. This one, though, I'll show you where it is, because it's on the ground in that little clump of trees. There's the adult with a beak full of food, ready to take to the chicks. In it goes. There are 5 chicks in there. They hatched just a couple of days ago, and both parents are feeding them. Typically, they feed them every 10 to 15 minutes. So they have to work extremely hard in all weathers, rain as well. That one's looking a bit damp, isn't it? That beautiful red, sort of orange really, let's face it, orangey chest. But those chicks won't get those dark feathers until they're about 2 to 3 months old. They fledge after a couple of weeks, and that could be a second or even a third brood. They breed from April to August. Peak time is April to June. What do you reckon, second or third brood,
I think
Chris?
second. They certainly started early back at my place. Had a nest in March, so this could easily be a second one.
Next, let's have a look at the garden warbler. And while we do, we've got a question here from Samantha Davis saying, I'm worried about the robin chicks. They seem too young to have fledged. Is the mum okay? Haven't seen her return this morning. Have they fledged because she didn't return? I'm worried the chicks won't survive as well. Worried about mum. Any idea what's been going on, Ruth? You've been keeping an eye on the cameras.
Well, certainly, and rightfully so to be worried. We're always worried when we don't see the birds for quite some time, and believe me, there's a lot of speculation in the chuck, and quite rightly well observed as well. They did seem very young to fledge. However, unusually perhaps for this nest, they were right on the ground, and there was a lot of cover around, and so the chances are these birds, as we saw with the pied flies in the box, they would move out of that sort of cup of the nest and kind of huddle away. And basically, probably what these robin chicks have done is a very similar thing. They've moved out of the nest cup. They're just out of sight, out of our camera, and they're so hard to see because their whole, reason at this point is to try and keep hidden and try and stay hidden. So they've scurried in, and we have seen the adult a couple of times come through. So I would say don't worry. Those chicks are probably okay, but well observed. Yes, they are very young, but they haven't probably properly fledged at this point.
Absolutely. We've got the garden warblers here that we're looking at, and I think the key thing to remember with these small birds is that they want to get out of that nest as fast as possible. The nest isn't a safe place to be. Because you have been in there, there have been eggs laid in there, you have been in there, that nest has been used for potentially about a month. Eggs are laid, then they're incubated, that takes a couple of weeks, then the chicks hatch, and then they get to the age that they're ready to start moving out, that takes a couple of weeks. So it's been near enough a month of just lying on the forest floor in terms of those robins, where a predator could stumble across you. So the first chance you get at being able to move out of that nest and spread that brood around the area, and therefore if a stoat comes by, it might take 1, it might take 2, but it reduces the chances of it taking the entire nest. And you will see, as the character that we've alluded to that is no longer there, had they spread out of the nest a little bit quicker, maybe they would have been okay. But yes, the robins especially are able to scurry around on the ground.
And they weren't the only ones. We had more fledging. It was a very active weekend. What about our robin's nest? Look at this, first of all. This was a bit worrying, actually, because this chick seemed to get some vegetation stuck in its throat. We were concerned it might choke just as it's, ready to fledge. Fortunately, managed to spit it out. So as I say, they were ready to fledge. I mean, look at them. They've got feathers, and they're flapping, and they're out. 2 of them go. There are 5 of them to get out of that nest. They also will be fed by the parents for another 3 weeks post-fledging. So they won't go very far to begin with. And then they'll only get that red or orange breast at about 3 months old. And there's a reason for that, because robins can be aggressive. They're very territorial. And so by the chicks keeping that sort of brown chest instead of the red or orange chest means that they avoid any aggression from the adult. So as I say, there's a reason that they wait to get those chests.